running through everything you need to know about the marathon. So, now that you know the history of the marathon, what about giving it a try? Up to 1.3 million people participate in marathons each year. Marathons offer an excellent avenue to improve your fitness because you'll need to practice by running many kilometers weekly. Once you've completed a marathon, you'll be able to count it among your lifetime achievements too. However, if the idea of a full marathon sounds daunting, you could try a 21-kilometer half marathon instead. Those taking part should get some guidance for finishing successfully. One good idea for new runners is to make use of a pacer. Each marathon will provide different pacers who aim to complete the run at different times, from swift to a little slower. All you have to do is choose a pacer with your target time and run along with them. You should also make use of aid stations. These are stations that are positioned along the way and have food and drink for the runners. Just be careful not to drink too much water.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And we're back here talking about the marathon, the long 42-kilometer running race that they do every year every time they have the Olympics. And also, there are lots of them around the world. Every year they have one in Taiwan.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they? The Taipei Marathon. I think it's, when is it?
I think they have several ones.
Fall, spring, something like that.
Yeah.
Usually when the weather's cooler, it would be dangerous to do a marathon here in the summer. It's too hot. And if you're very healthy, very fit, and very determined, you might want to try it out for yourself if you're also a little bit crazy. So if you are a little bit crazy and also very, very healthy and fit, good for you, what do you need to do? Well, let's find out by checking out today's article. So it begins with so. Now that you know the history of the marathon, what about giving it a try? All right, yeah, so yesterday we spent the whole day learning about Pheidippides, marathon, 490 BC, all that stuff. So now that we know the history, that's already been done. Now that kind of shows what's been done, and then there'll be a comma and there'll be something else. Now that we've planned our holiday, all we have to do is pack our bags, all right? So the planning of the holiday has been finished. It's done. Let's move on to the next thing. Now that we've done the first thing, let's go to the second thing. That's kind of how we do it, just showing there's a chain of events.
所以 now that 就是既然 now give something a try 就是试试看 You can also say to give something a go. 那么呢，既然已经了解了马拉松的历史，我们就应该来尝试看看啦。
Now, I've never done a marathon.
Me either.
Chicken's never done a marathon. But lots of other people have done marathons.
No, I think I did half.
You did a half marathon?
Yeah, because I think I was invited by Marie Claire.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was a guest. So
I see. Good for you.
I had to run a little bit.
But you didn't do the
No,
full
I didn't finish the whole
22 kilometers or 21 kilometers or something. Okay. But a lot of people do marathons. These are the full ones. These are the healthy folks. How many? It says up to 1.3 million people participate in marathons each year.
That's a lot.
I guess they just look at the number of people who enter them.
Yeah.
So some of those would be people who do more than one, right? Because like the real professional athletes probably do lots of them every year. But yeah, it shows you it's not just, 1.3 million people don't go to the Olympics every time they have it. So it's showing you that more than just the professional runners will do this. People do it as a hobby. People do it just as something they enjoy, not because they're trying to win a medal or something like that. Up to 1.3 million, that's basically saying that this would be the maximum number, but the number is not exactly that. It could be lower than that, probably not higher than that, but a bit lower than that, if the weather's bad or if people are too busy or, maybe they have to cancel marathons. So it could be a lower number, but this is kind of the high maximum number that we often see each year in these marathons.
Okay, so up to something 就是数量或水准有多达到哪一些或高达哪一些，所以在每一年有多达130万人都会参加马拉松比赛哦，所以这个参加我们用了 participate in 这个片语。
And if you participate in something, you take part. You are part of the action. You are part of what is going on. You're not sitting there watching. If you're watching and clapping and cheering, you're not really participating in the game or in the performance. You're just watching, all right? But if you're in the game, if you're on the team, if you're in the band, if you're dancing on the stage, you are participating in whatever event, activity is going on. For example, Julie and some of her classmates will participate in the dragon boat races next June. I've watched the dragon boat races, but never participated. I've never been in the boat.
所以 participate 就是参与或参加，我们后面加 in 这一个介系词，那他的参与这个人呢叫做 participant， 所以他的名词就是 participation。比如说 they were very pleased with the high level of participation in the charity events， 代表很多参与率很高的意思。
And next it says, marathons offer an excellent avenue to improve your fitness because you'll need to practice, I should say, by running many kilometers weekly. I'll read that again. Marathons offer an excellent avenue to improve your fitness because you'll need to practice by running many kilometers weekly. Many kilometers weekly and several kilometers probably daily or every day. We also had this really interesting use of the word avenue. Most of the time when you see the word avenue, we're talking about a road or a street. An avenue is basically the same thing. It could be Fifth Avenue in New York, it could be this street in Taipei or that road in another city, but you get the idea, a big wide area that cars drive up and down on. In this case, though, we're not at all talking about that kind of road or street or avenue. This avenue is more a way of going somewhere or reaching a goal. All right, so if you have a goal, something you want to do or achieve or accomplish, there are several different ways of reaching that goal, several different avenues you can take. Here's an example. Going to cooking school would be a great avenue to getting a job as a chef at a famous restaurant. Another avenue would be get a job at that restaurant washing dishes and then learn on the job. But that might take more years, more time, and more dedication. So there are many avenues to reaching your goal. You just have to decide which is the best one for you.
所以 avenue 就是方法或途径，在我们文章中是这个意思。所以通常要找出一个方法，英文可以使用 explore 或者是 pursue 这两个动词。比如说 we will explore every avenue until we find an answer。那么老师刚刚提到，当大道或者是路名都是 OK 的哦。比如说 firefighters were called to a house on Cherry Avenue， 这边就是当路名的意思。
There we go. Cherry Avenue could also be Cherry Street or Cherry Road. It would have basically the same meaning. And yeah, we saw the word weekly. You'll have to run many kilometers weekly if you want to join a marathon. Weekly is happening or done every week. Once a week it happens, so 52 times a year, weekly. Not daily, not every year, not monthly, every month, or annually or yearly, every year, but weekly, every week. So, for example, most people will, wash their clothes weekly or go to the supermarket weekly, right? Something you maybe don't do every day, but you don't do it every month. That's too much time. Every 7 days, every week. For example, for many years, Joan and her friends have been meeting for a weekly tennis match. Yeah, these are ladies. They don't have to, they're not trying to get to Wimbledon. They're just trying to have fun and have a good time together, so they play every week or weekly.
所以 weekly 就是每周，所以我们换算一下吧。如果是每个小时呢，就是 hourly， 每天 daily， weekly 就是我们今天文章中看到的。那么每个月就是 monthly， 每年就是 yearly 或者是 annually， 这些都是蛮常见的。比如说费率按小时计算，所以你就可以讲 rates are calculated on an hourly basis。 那么马拉松它是提高身体素质一个最棒的方法哦，因为你需要每一周跑很多公里来进行练习。
All right, so it says once you've completed a marathon, you'll be able to count it among your lifetime achievements too. So yes, you got to be very fit, very dedicated. Every day you're running 3-5 kilometers. Every week you're up at 20 or 30. And then one time you really push yourself and try to do 20 in one day. And I think they kind of say 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
If you're really good with yourself, really tough with yourself, you can reach the level of being able to run a marathon and complete it, finish it. Because if you quit halfway through, well, I will still respect you, but you can't say you finished it if if you don't reach the finish line. And if you do, when you do, you'll be able to count it among your lifetime achievements. One of those things you can be proud of. One of those things you can tell people when you meet them, and they'll go, wow, that's incredible. Tell me about that. That's really interesting, really unusual, and it's something that will definitely prove you are made of tough stuff. However, it says if the idea of a full marathon, that's the 42-kilometer distance, if the idea of a full marathon sounds daunting, it does, you could try a 21-kilometer half marathon instead. That's the one you mentioned. That's a good way to start. And I think they also have 10K runs, 5K runs. So I would suggest at least doing some of those first. But yeah, a half marathon, of course, would be much less daunting, especially for someone who's never done this before.
So 这个字呢 daunting 就是令人却步令人气馁 So I believe that we can also use daunt as a verb, right? And
yes.
also daunted, like if you're feeling daunted. Can you say that?
Yeah, you're kind of nervous, afraid, you don't think you'll be successful, that kind of idea. Exactly. Those taking part in either the half or the full marathons, those taking part should get some guidance for finishing successfully. Yeah, there are certain things you need to know, talking to someone who's done it before, and I'm sure online you can find lots of blogs and websites about how to do a marathon, how to train, how to prepare yourself, what to eat, because the food you eat is super important too. So you definitely would want some guidance before you take part.
所以 take part 就是去参加，所以 take part in something 就像我们刚刚讲的啦 participate in, right? 他们很像。所以老师刚刚也讲到 guidance is what does guidance stand for?
Guidance is kind of what we explained earlier. If you're going to do a marathon, find someone who's done one before and listen to them. Listen to their advice, their suggestions, their guidance, because that's what guidance is. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my best suggestions from my experience, from my wisdom, from my knowledge. If you follow my guidance or not, that's up to you. I won't make you, but this is kind of like, if I were you, I would do this. This is my suggestion. This is my advice, especially for something difficult that you've never done before. Here's an example. Maybe a travel agent can give us some guidance about planning the perfect holiday on a cruise ship. I've never been on a cruise ship. I don't know much about it. I don't really know what's good and bad, what I might like or not like. So yeah, I'd like some guidance.
So guidance 就是指导。那如果它的动词跟名词另外一个字可以用 guide 这个字哦，那就是引领的意思。比如说 The lights guided them back to the harbor， 代表他们跟着光引导他们回到码头。那么所以我们平常讲的导游也是这个字啊 tour guide。所以参加者呢应该要需要一些指导来成功完成比赛。如果他们对马拉松是很生疏的话。
One good idea for new runners is to make use of a pacer. All right, to make use of something is just to use something that is there for you to use. You're not sort of saying, give this to me. Someone's like, hey, it's there. Do you want to use it? You can make use of it if you want. If you're on an airplane, there are bathrooms there for you to make use of. There's a video system. You can watch movies. You can make use of that. Or you can just sit in your seat and sleep or read a book or something. But those things are available to use or to make use of.
所以 make use of something 就是使用或利用。那如果好好利用就是 make good use of something。什么是配速员呢？配速员就很像是领跑员。那我们口语中常常会说兔子，那他们就是可以带领这一些跑者去完成比赛。那甚至呢，不止完成比赛，还可以破个人纪录哦。
All right, so this pacer, what is this person and what is their job in the race? Well, we learn it says each marathon will provide different pacers who aim to complete the run at different times, from swift to a little slower. Oh, okay. Sometimes they're also called pace setters. And a pace is basically how many steps you take in a minute or something like that, right? So if you're tired, you will slow down your pace, take fewer steps in a minute. If you're late or trying to catch up, you'll have to increase or raise your pace and take more steps in a minute. In other words, you're running faster or you want to be more swift. Swift means quick or fast, all right? So if you're doing something in a very swift kind of way, you're doing it in a fast, quick, rapid kind of way. You're trying to do as much in as little as time. You are in a rush. And we can also use it to describe things that are fast. For example, greyhounds and whippets are both very swift kinds of dog. They often use those for dog racing because they're so swift or fast.
所以 swift 就是迅速飞快的，所以快速的行动英文就是 swift action， 或者是及时的回复，你也可以说 swift reply。 所以每一个马拉松比赛都会有不同的配速员，目标就是在不同的时间完成跑步。那速度从最飞快呢到比较慢都有。
All right, so you're out there and you're going to run the race, but you don't want to be, trying to run with the guys from Kenya and Ethiopia who are like world champions and going to finish in 2 hours. You're happy to finish in 3 hours, let's say. So it says all you have to do is choose a pacer with your target time and run along with them. So I think these people will actually maybe hold signs as they're running. And since you've been practicing, you will know your pace. You'll kind of know, I hope to finish in 3 hours or 3 hours and 20 minutes, and then you find someone who is running at around that same pace, and you just follow them like you're, like a dog following a rabbit or something like that. You're just sticking right behind them, and as long as they're going at the same speed, you should be running at that speed, and if it's a comfortable speed, you should end up finishing close to that time.
所以呢，在这边看到今天文法 all you have to do is blah blah blah. Let's take a look. 所以 language and focus 这边讲到就是 all that someone needs to do is 后面加上 is 就是 be 动词嘛。那我们来看一下句子 Don't be jealous of others. All you need to do is to keep breaking your own records every day. 代表你需要做的就是去破自己的记录，而不是一直感到去羡慕别人。那么 all that 什么什么谁应该做什么呢？它有点像是 what you need to do is 的感觉。所以比如说另外一个句子你也可以讲 What you need to do is to give your suit a quick brush.
Good advice. You should also, along with using the pacer, you should also make use of aid stations. Absolutely. As you're running along for 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. You're not going to be carrying bottles of water and, snacks with you. I mean, that would just be extra weight. So they have these aid stations. And when we see the word aid, we generally think of help, assistance, someone who is there to take care of things if we're in trouble or something like that. That's the kind of aid or assistance we are talking about. And these stations, it'll just be some people standing maybe with a table next to on the side of the running the road or wherever you're running. They'll have cups of water or bottles of water. They'll be holding out water or bags of snacks. And you run by without stopping, grab them, pour some water down your throat, pour the water over your head, that kind of thing, and keep on running. But if you don't, you'll end up being very, very thirsty, and it could be really dangerous, actually. For example, for the word aid, as I stood in the middle of Tokyo looking lost, a kind local man came to my aid. He came to help or to assist me.
所以 aid 就是帮助或援助物资。那么这个字我们有看到 aid station 就是补给站。那么我们常常会讲 first aid kit， 这个就是急救包。所以我们可以讲every workplace should have a first aid kit， 这个就是每个工作场所都应该有一个急救包。所以我们也可以跑步的时候很累的话，可以好好利用补给站。
All right, so we learn more about the aid stations as we reach the end of the article for today. These are stations that are positioned or placed along the way and have food and drink for the runners. Just be careful not to drink too much water. Very good tip, because even though you might be thirsty, your body can only take in so much water. You don't want to drink so much that you end up like throwing up or something like that. And the food and drink, well, don't expect hamburgers and French fries. We're talking about nuts, granola bars, those power gels, things that sort of chocolate maybe, things that give your body a lot of energy in a very small amount. So that's the type of thing.
Do you need to pay?
No, I don't think so. Although often when you join the marathon, you have to pay just to join.
Oh, so.
But that'll get you
But what if a person gets so many, the all-you-can-eat restaurant?
then you're just going to throw up and feel terrible, and you should not be running a marathon. Generally, you do have to pay to enter, but you'll get like the free t-shirt and, the other stuff, and that will also pay for, snacks for everyone. But that's a good question.
So我们今天就知道这个 aid station 它就是在沿途为跑步者提供食物跟饮料啦，不过还是注意不要喝太多水哦，会吐。
Or maybe you could just call Uber Eats and they can meet you like halfway down with a pizza and then you can ride on their scooter. Yeah. No, you can't do that. That's
they're going to
cheating.
have a hard time finding you.
Definitely. And you don't want to be eating a pizza in the middle of a marathon. That's for sure. So here's our chat question. After knowing what we know so far, would you like to do a marathon one day? Why or why not?
If you come with.
Me and you do a marathon?
If I have a friend that I know, we have some friends.
Can Charlie join us?
Maybe. He's going to finish it.
I think a cute corgi running a marathon. That might be enough. I'll just follow his little butt.
Cute little butt. I know.
Yeah, I'll just follow his butt.
He could be our pacer.
Every time I'm thinking, I want to quit, I'll go, no, I can't quit for the corgi butt. That would be, I don't know. It's got little legs.
Yeah. I have two. I'm going to bring Diana too.
Oh, I see. You could have them both do a half.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. All right, so what about you guys? After knowing what you know, would you like to do a marathon one day? Why or why not? Have a chat about that. Catch your breath. Have a power gel and come back and join us tomorrow for more about marathons. Vocabulary Review.
Participate. Jimmy is a quiet boy who doesn't like to participate in large school events. Avenue. The boss told his team leaders to explore every different avenue of making more money for the business. Weekly. There's a show about Taiwanese politics that I love to watch weekly. It's on every Tuesday evening. Guidance. Billy struggles to learn English by himself. To learn the language well, he needs guidance from a teacher. Swift. The fight ended soon after it began, when Ian went down after a swift punch. Aid. Many countries sent aid to help those who had lost their homes after the big earthquake hit the city.
智慧小补帖
Daunting.